basketball fans in Pittsburgh are riding high as their Panthers streak toward the Big East tournament. A top 10 ranking for the first time in 14 years, and national attention have fallen on the Panthers. Ben Howland and Brandon Knight are top candidates for Coach and Player of the Year in the Big East. But the challenge is different tonight. They'll face the Scarlet Knights, who, led by their first-year coach Gary Waters and senior Rashad Kent, have feasted on ranked teams of late. Rutgers and Pittsburgh next. Chances are nobody would have told you this in late December, but we've got a terrific Big East game tonight. Scarlet Knights trying to knock off another ranked team as they take on the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Welcome to Pittsburgh and Fitzgerald Fieldhouse tonight. I'm John Sanders, along with Glenn Consor. You look at what Rutgers has done, especially at home. They have been a real problem for ranked teams.
Well, they certainly have. This is the first year in the history of the program where they have knocked off 4 nationally ranked teams. I might have thought it was the Phil Sellers years when they went to the Final Four. Not the case. This team is very defensive-minded and hungry to get into the NCAAs.
Matter of fact, Pittsburgh is the only team to beat Rutgers at the rack this year. Not only is the team matchup great, how about individually? We have the co-players of the week represented here.
Well, we have 2 stars here, Rashad Kent and Brandon Knight. Kent is one of the leaders in the country in rebounding. He's terrific on the boards, takes up a lot of space. The last time out, he had 16 rebounds against a defeat of Miami, and 9 of them were on the offensive end. He also is doing a much better job playing low-post basketball, and what can you say more about Brandon Knight, who is a candidate for the Player of the Year? Knight to Page is synonymous to Stockton and Malone here in Pittsburgh. He might be the best player in the Big East Conference in making other players around him better.
We also have the Rookie of the Week from last week, Ricky Shields for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Ricky Shields is doing a great job. He has made Rookie of the Week 3 times this year. Shields is great off the bounce. He's a terrific three-point shooter. But his biggest asset is his ability to beat you off the bounce and dribble and penetrate. He's a great complement to Sherrod and Coleman in their 3-guard offense.
So we have all the ingredients for a terrific basketball game. Great individual players, 2 terrific teams hooked up. Starting lineups of the Scarlet Knights and the Panthers straight ahead. Welcome back inside Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, and it's next to last basketball game ever. The visitors tonight are the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers University. Let's set their starting lineup as we prepare for the opening tip. There's the crew that will go. Sean Exani taking over for Eugene Dabney, bothered a little bit of late by an ankle problem. And Jerome Coleman is their leading scorer. He is a newcomer, a junior college transfer. Gary Waters, what a job former coach at Kent State has done in his first year in the Big East. He has been terrific. Pittsburgh Panthers lineup, very successful, 22-4. Page, Knight, Zavascus, Brown, and Torrey Morrison. The glue, according to head coach Ben Howland, is 6'4" Jerron Brown, who leads the team in rebounding. There is Ben, now in his 3rd season, and he has turned things around completely. Our referee is John Cowell. Jim Luchansky and John Clockerty are the umpires. Glenn, this should be a terrific game.
Oh, absolutely. It is safe to say that these 2 teams are the most improved teams in the conference. And I almost took the charge there. I could have taken the charge, John, but I wasn't down low enough. You see, that's the problem. I wasn't ready.
Well, you had to.
I didn't warm up.
I know, and you had to make sure the ball was inbounds. It was. The first shot is deflected, but picked up inside by Exani. He lays it in and will go to the line. The series has been dominated by Rutgers. However, Pittsburgh's won the last 2, and they won earlier this year.
You know, John, these 2 teams mirror themselves this year on how they've turned their program around, because both of these teams are defensive oriented. They do a great job of getting outside the 3-point line and getting into you on perimeter defense, and both teams do a terrific job on the boards. Very physical.
But you just saw what neither team can do, and that's shoot free throws.
Well, that's another parallel. Both teams can't hit that free throw shot, and that could be an issue come tournament time.
Knight leans inside. He draws the foul and will go to the line. So Knight not afraid to go right at him. Take Mike Sherrod inside. Sherrod will pick up his first foul. And Brandon Knight, who shoots 38% for 3-pointers, shoots 46% at the free throw line. How about that?
He's going to have to kick those numbers up. Interesting matchup with Sherrod against Brandon Knight, because Sherrod is a terrific defender who knows how to put pressure on the ball. He turned John Salmon's over 9 times when he defended him again in Miami. But Knight is one of these players that really knows how to play within the system. He doesn't force shots.
And he makes a steal.
And he makes steals.
Gets inside, has it knocked out of bounds. Deflected by the Scarlet Knights. So Panthers with a 1 point on the board in the first 36 seconds will keep it.
You know, John, you talk to the coaching staff about Brandon Knight, and they tell you he does all the little things that win basketball games. Getting deflections, getting steals, very quick hands.
And back to live action. Zavaskas takes it all the way in. Another unsung player. He has to do a lot of the hard work inside. He gets the basket and gives the Panthers their first lead of the night.
Straight man by Pittsburgh. Interesting matchup with Brown on Coleman.
They get it outside. Sherrod takes it all the way to the side. Looks inside and decides to shoot a 3. Too strong. Brown the rebound.
Sherrod is not a great three-point shooter.
Knight has been a good three-point shooter. Misses his first chance, and Brown took it back. Morris lays it in.
Well, you talk about 2 big bodies going at it underneath, and Morris and Rashad Kent. Kent tips the scales at about 275. He's 6'6", got the Charles Barkley upper body.
And there is Rashad Kent. Leans in offside. Exani misses the left-hand layup. Knight comes back. Panthers leading by 3.
One area that Rashad Kent has improved on this year.
There's that alley-oop you talked about. Only Page could not catch that one.
Kent has really improved on passing out of double teams.
Maybe too quick by Coleman.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the areas he has to improve on.
Sherrod with a good feed downside, but Kent could not handle it. It went off the leg of Morrison out of bounds. Scarlet Knights will keep it. Rutgers a slow start shooting the basketball, just 1 of 5 so far tonight.
John, you saw the quick jack by Coleman, and again, you kind of have to live with bad shots with him because he might lead the conference in bad makes. He takes some wild shots, but he knows how to make them, and you kind of got to live with the good and the bad with Jerome Coleman because he could score.
Well, Knight, you saw pull down his first rebound. In addition to almost 7 assists a game, he averaged 5 rebounds a game. Zavaskas three-pointer on the way. No good. Kent rebounding over Morris that time. Pulls it in. The only team to beat Rutgers at the rack this year, Pittsburgh. And that was early in the season. Knocked away. Kent will track it down. Sherrod on the perimeter. Knight takes him down the lane, fades away, and hits it.
Rutgers basket number 3, Mike Sherrod.
First points of the night for Sherrod. We've played almost 3 minutes, and Pittsburgh's lead is 1.
Sherrod is very quick with the basketball off the bounce. Again, when he improves his outside shot, he could extend the defense a little bit more and get into the lane a little easier than he normally does.
And the Panthers turn it over. Ontario Lett is set to check in, along with the only senior on this entire team for Pittsburgh, and that's redshirt senior Chad Johnson. So the Knights, who scored the first basket of the game and then went a little bit cold, will bring it up with a chance to retake the lead.
You know, neither one of these teams really has great size in the way of height, but they have bulk and they are aggressive teams, hungry and ornery on the boards.
Exani with the second Scarlet Knight turnover. So the Panthers will get it back, leading by a point with 16:37 to play.
Gary Waters knows how important it is to take care of that basketball. But what a job he's done really implementing a defensive style into the Rutgers program. And the defense really establishes the offense because they get possessions off their defense, and they're not a pressing team.
Page had it knocked away, got it back, leans in, comes up short, tipped up. Zavaskas had a go at it. It's tracked down by Shield. Gets it to Johnson. Panthers get a fresh clock. Knight passes on the 3, streaks to the hole. The putback by Lett. The junior college transfer came to Pittsburgh late in the recruiting season. A lot of people looked past him, but the Panthers stayed with him, and he has been a real find for them.
Well, he certainly has. Boy, you really saw how much attention Brandon Knight draws when he gets in the lane.
And if Rashad Kent wants to shoot from outside, the Panthers will let him. Kent, good feed, Zavaskas. Panthers have their biggest lead, up by 5.
See, John, the 4 players that play with Brandon Knight know that when he has the ball, they're going to move without the ball because they know they're going to get it. And everyone likes to score. That's the difference. They don't stand around and watch him penetrate. They know they're going to get it.
This is Coleman working hard outside, hits the deck and loses it out of bounds. He touched it last. Third turnover by the Scarlet Knights. And the timeout is called with 15:21 to go in the half. The Panthers' lead is 5 before a sold-out Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
People test driving
To play, the Panthers have been dominating things inside so far.
Well, they do a great job of sending really everyone to the glass. You can get long rebounds and they can get rebounds around the basket. They have a great feel for the ball. Take a look how much attention Brandon Knight gets, because what that does is everyone collapses on him. It's easy to offensive rebound. Again, Rutgers is going to have to make the adjustment, get the weak side defense to rotate.
And the Knights showing some pressure for the first time tonight, trailing 9-4 in the first 5 minutes. Johnson handles, sets up Brandon Knight. Working now against Joel Wiggins, who's into the lineup. The backup point guard for the Knights. Here's Johnson.
Rutgers is going to try to run a whole bunch of different looks at Brandon Knight to try to wear him down.
Lett trying to work inside, draws a foul. And the foul is going to go on number 44, Rashad Kent. To win over 1,000 points this year, the 32nd in Scarlet Knight history to do that.
You see the little shoulder getting leaned in. Once he leans his shoulder in, he's going to the line. He does a terrific job of knowing how to establish himself, use his body, and he's great at drawing fouls.
Can't be mad at me.
And hits his first chance at the line tonight, a 61% free throw shooter. And that's just about the norm for this Pittsburgh team.
Ben Howland told me before this game that Lett might be their best low post scorer inside because he uses his body so well. A lot of offensive players in the low post don't have a feel for where the defensive guy is on your shoulder. Well, Lett does.
So it has been an 11-2 run by the Pittsburgh Panthers.
You know what I like about these two teams, John? They're both blue-collar defensive teams. They don't do anything fancy. They just get in your face, play great weak-side defense, and great on-ball defense. They always get deflections. There's nothing fancy here. There's no junk defenses you're going to see.
Well, Kent was looking to make the right pass to Sherrod, threw it out of his reach, and it's the 4th turnover so far for the Scarlet Knights. That has not helped them in the early going. Knight working against Wiggins. It's it inside along the baseline. Johnson is there. What a great pass again.
See, Page does a great job of playing peekaboo on that baseline. And again, when Knight penetrates, Page moves, and they really know where each other. They have great chemistry between each other.
An 8-0 run, and you stretch it out, it's 13-2 as well for the Panthers after the first basket of the game was scored by the Scarlet Knights.
You know, John, a lot of times when you rotate on defense, you have one guy rotating in on one side. But when you play against Pittsburgh, you almost have to have 2 guys to rotate because Knight could pick you apart.
Well, he has picked Rutgers apart so far. Sherrod gets inside and gets the roll. Mike Sherrod gets his 2nd field goal as it bends home. And that cuts off the 8-0 Panther run. Pittsburgh in front at home. Now the Panthers have been playing from behind, trailing by double digits in each of their last 2 games. First at Syracuse, then at West Virginia, and they came back and won both those games with relative ease. Hervé Lamazana picks up the foul.
Rutgers foul called against number 1, Hervé Lamazana. That's his first, team 3rd.
Zavascus. I think he's got Ontario Lett moving maybe on the pick that he was trying to set. And John Cowell emphatically saying, let's go the other way.
Well, when you set a screen, John, you can't headhunt, you can't move, and they caught Lett stepping out a little bit, try to get some body.
Rutgers went over 3 minutes without a field goal, trailing now by 7. This is Jason McCoy in the lineup for the first time. The thing about Gary Waters, he's not afraid to use a lot of people. Is that offense? Yes. Well, McCoy left his feet, got himself in trouble, turns it over.
Well, that's a classic freshman mistake, and Waters knows it as well. You got to be under control when you get in the paint. Sometimes you take it to the rim, other times you pull straight up and dish. That time he left his feet. Very predictable. I almost jumped over the table and took it myself, John, but I don't have the same speed anymore.
Well, we noticed that on the first play of the game.
Oh, that's wrong.
Your back pedal is pretty good, though.
Wow. Oh, man.
Well, you didn't think I was going to let that play go by.
I thought you might. I thought you might.
Glenn, it doesn't work that way.
I thought it would at least go to the second half.
Knight again matched up against Wigan, who fouled him the time before and almost got another one right there. Here's Johnson. Kent knocks it away. Johnson gets it back. Zavaskas. Not a good location for that pass to Ontario Lett. It's batted out of bounds. Jerron Brown will check back in for Pittsburgh.
And Ben Howland knows not only was it a bad angle, but it was also no spacing on that pass. You can't throw those tight little 3-foot bounce passes. Everyone's going to get a hand on it. Pittsburgh plays its best basketball when they spread the floor and let Knight create.
And they usually limit the other team's possessions by taking a lot of time on the clock themselves.
They really do. They do a great job of milking that 35-second clock. And when things break down, Knight can do it. You always need a guy that can break you down when that shot clock's ticking down. Knight's the guy for Pittsburgh.
See how Brown got his hands in there? Deflected the ball, but the foul was called from behind, and it's going to go against Brandon Knight. Well, Brandon will pick up his first. And the Panthers so far taking pretty good care of the basketball, and they've made 3 of 4 from the line, which is a shot.
You know what makes Rutgers a tough team this year, and Ben Howland knows it, is that they have 3 guards that can take you off the bounce. So you have to play honest defense. You almost can't play that help side defense and weak side defense because all 3 guys are terrific and penetrating. And you could throw Wiggins in on that equation.
Wiggin gets inside, bending good. He got the roll that time. Joel Wiggin with his first field goal. 5-point difference. Knight handling against Joel Wiggin. Blows by him. Now see how he uses his body to just lean in a little bit. Then feeds Jerron Brown, who kind of lost the basketball under the basket, but got it back enough to be fouled.
Watching the evolution of Brandon Knight, the thing that jumps out at me the most is his maturity to make great basketball decisions on the floor. You know, you might see quicker guards, you might see guards that might have a better jump shot off the break, but Knight is one of the few guards in the country that could put it all together.
And a lot of people, even though they watched him last year, are wondering how this guy could have improved so much from one season to the next.
Well, number 1, he's gotten stronger. Number 2, he's improved his 3-point shooting. And that's been the difference because now you can't sag off him. You got to play him honest. But don't forget, he had a great high school coach in Coach Farrell down at Seton Hall. Also, his dad was a terrific player at Seton Hall. And don't forget his brother. So those guys are going one-on-one,
exactly.
You know, in the offseason. And it's not bad to go up against an NBA player as your brother. So he really blossomed this year. The maturity, the respect that he's getting, and his ability to make basketball decisions is what separates him from the other guards.
The lane violation gave Brown one more chance, but he missed all 3 opportunities. So we have a timeout at 11:59. That's the time left in the half, and the Panthers' lead is 5.
At Advanced Auto Parts, we believe in doing it yourself. So we made this
First half. The Panthers working hard, but making a few mistakes of late.
Well, Pittsburgh's ability to use Knight to penetrate, Page did a great job of moving off the penetration. He didn't stand and watch. But the key is going to be rotation on the defensive end for Rutgers because Shields was out of position on that play. Lamazana came up way too early. You got to time it nice. 2 guys. Again, 1 guy can't just be relied upon to rotate. You need 2 guys to rotate because Knight really knows where the opposing guys are.
Scarlet Knights will bring it up, led by their point guard, Mike Sherratt. Lamazana from deep. And a nice inside catch and putback by Joel Wiggin that time. Gets his second field goal. 3-point game. I tell you what, neither one of these teams is going to go away. You know?
No, they're going to scrape, they're going to scrap, they're going to claw, they're going to pick up loose balls, they're going to get deflections. They're both defensive-minded teams, and I think that's what these 2 coaches have brought to the equation. And I mentioned this before, you know, you think about the Georgetown's playing great defense. Boeheim's always been a great coach of defense. Well, both of these guys are coming into this league. They are great coaches. Hallen's always done a great job as a coach. Waters came in as known as a terrific defensive coach when he was at Kent State.
Well, he's done the job so far. Just 8 seconds now on the shot clock. Troutman, who's in the lineup for the first time. Shot clock at 5. McCarroll also in the lineup, and that's blocked. Gets it back, puts it up. Bending off. Kent reaching over to keep the ball alive for the Knights. And Sherrod flying back down the court. Has that one blocked from behind. That was Troutman who chased him down and blocked it, and the Panthers will get it back.
Well, talking to the Pittsburgh coaching staff, Ben Hallen told me, he said, we're going to have to do a job of getting back in the transition game, and it's not just going to be the guards. The big guys got to get back. Troutman does a good job of waiting for where that ball was going to be and anticipating where it was going to be on the glass. You got to get back, Sherrod's a jet.
Deron Brown with a bounce pass to Troutman. This is McCarroll. Now Page launches his first 3, and it hits nothing. Sherrod races back. Wigan on the wing. That one's blocked against the backboard, and it will count as a basket.
So Ben Hallen jumped off the bench thinking that it was pinned below the rim so that it shouldn't be a goaltend, but let's take a look at it. On the way up, that's a good call. It's a good call.
Makes it a 1-point game now. The Panthers have gone cold the last few minutes, and they turn it right back over. That one, no goaltending there. Skying on the play was Mark McCarroll, a redshirt freshman who had knee problems a year ago from the Queens. He gets the clean block.
And McCarroll does a good job after he throws the turnover of just getting back. And again, look at this ups. Get that shot out of here. You know, and that's what they were talking about before this game. In the old days, John, you used to just get back to the paint. Now you got to get back to the paint, and then you got to spread out to get outside the three-point line.
Lamazana from outside, trying to give his team the lead. The rebound to Troutman. Here comes Brandon Knight. A stop-and-go move on Wigan. Troutman will shoot a 3 and hits it. Troutman can shoot some 3s, but that is just his second of the year. How about that? 16-12 Pittsburgh. And the battle between Troutman and Kent continues inside, and Siobhan Troutman picks up the foul. He is one of 3 redshirt freshmen that Ben Howland has on this team. Panthers went almost 4.5 minutes without scoring a field goal.
Number 2, Siobhan Troutman, his first, team 4th for Pittsburgh, number 15,
Chad Johnson is checked back in for the Panthers as Wigan puts up a shot too strong. This is Chad Johnson, who will weave into forecourt. Finds Knight. Brandon has only attempted 1 3 so far tonight. Has 1 point. Tried to go over the top to Troutman, knocked away and out of bounds. But is it going to be a foul on Kent? Yes. That is number 2. And I tell you what, Gary Waters can't afford to have the big man get in foul trouble.
And a risky pass, but effective pass from Brandon Knight. I'll tell you why. Because when you're trying to throw it over the top of Kent, you know you're going to get shoved. And it's not an easy thing to do because he's so strong. You saw Kent just lower his shoulder into Troutman. And that's a big foul right now as Kent has to take a seat.
Just past the midway point, it brings on Eugene Dabney for the first time. Keep track of how the Panthers do at the free throw line tonight. They're now 4 of 7.
What a year Rashad Kent has been having. And one of his big concerns and liabilities is if he picks up early fouls. They need him on the floor, John. Rutgers is not a big team, and they need his beef inside.
Just 1 of 2 at the line. Kent has fouled out of 4 games this year. Panthers lead goes back to 5. They've been up by as many as 9. A little less than 9.5 remaining in the first half. Had a sold-out Fitzgerald, sold out for the 6th consecutive game. There's a block from behind by Troutman. He batted it away from behind as Dabney went up with the shot.
John, one thing that we haven't discussed yet was Page is doing a great job on defense on Coleman. He's just denying him the ball, not letting him get into his game, preventing him from any kind of touches. There it is again. Look how he came up over that screen. Doing a great job on the defensive end.
A Mazzana has it knocked away. McCoy gets it back. Zavaskas gets a piece, and the Panthers get a turnover.
And that's what Pittsburgh does. They get deflections.
Knight out of control that time. 2-on-1. McCoy to the basket. Missed the shot. Troutman the rebound. Maybe expecting more contact than he got.
Yeah, I think McCoy wasn't sure if he was going to dunk it or finger roll it.
Zavaskas an offensive rebound. Knight missed his first attempt and will go to the line for 2. Second foul on Joel Wiggins. Knight is 0 for 3 shooting so far tonight. Ricky Shields, who's been on the bench for a while, is set to check back in for Rutgers. So is Torrey Morris for Pittsburgh, as the timeout has been called, a 30-second timeout called by head coach Gary Waters. Panthers lead is 5. And sometimes, I think when teams like this play, you think the game is sloppy, is ugly at times. Well, that's because of the defense, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, both of these teams just kind of grind you out. You're going to see some full court pressure on occasion, but both of these teams put pressure on you in the half court, and that's the difference.
Let's take a look right now at the Big East Conference standings, brought to you by ConAgra Foods, the title sponsor of the ConAgra Foods Big East Men's Basketball Championship, March 6 through 9 at Madison Square Garden. This is the West. And we'll go into this a little more detail at halftime, because this is not what people expected to see.
Oh, absolutely not. But you can really see how important this game is for Rutgers. You know, they get a win right here, then obviously knocking off a nationally ranked team. But it also puts them in that 8-win category in the Big East, and I think they're NCAA bound if they get that number.
The Panthers ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 87-88 season, when they finished 24-7. They wound up ranked 8th, and there's another miss at the line for Knight. He's 1 for 3. Another problem for Brandon. In warm-ups, he plays with a pad and a little brace on his hand because he hurt his finger in the Syracuse game, and that comes from behind Victory. And early on, he had tendonitis in his leg, had to wear a wrap, missed a lot of practice time, and at the end of games, when he would tend to get quite tired. And that was one of the things that was affecting his free throw shooting. But it's early in this game, and he's 1 for 4.
And the injury to his finger is his forefinger, and actually that is the shooting finger. You can't have that finger hurt. It usually doesn't work, and obviously Rutgers not going to the line enough, and Pittsburgh once again struggling.
And if they were a 70% shooting team, they'd be leading by 8 instead of 5, huh?
You can credit Pittsburgh's defense preventing Rutgers from getting to the line. They're doing a great job. Look, every time they penetrate, they get a deflection or a charge.
Coleman forces a 3, and it goes out of bounds. It's Dabney trying to fight over the top, and it is going to be Scarlet Knight's ball, but there was a little push by Dabney after the play was over, and it's going to be a technical foul. I saw it, and I think John Clockerty saw it too. It'll go on Eugene Dabney, who did not start tonight, set to check into the game for the first time tonight, is Kareem Wright.
You will take a look at Torrey Morris, gets him on his back, then he gets a little shove. Didn't like the way he was boxed out. Morris just did an honest, fundamental job boxing him out. Dabney just lost his cool. It happens.
Gave him a little push in the back. John Clockerty called it a technical foul.
Here's the problem with that. Problem is now Pittsburgh goes to the line to shoot free throws, then they get possession back, and those are the types of things that Gary Waters needs to stay away from.
But they won't get possession back because the ball went out of bounds.
That's right. It was out of bounds.
Given to Rutgers.
That's right. Went out of bounds.
It will still be Rutgers' ball now. And I guess the question is, who do you have shoot the free throws?
So Gary Waters right now isn't happy with the intensity, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. 2 air balls from Rutgers so far, but again, they're the type of team that gets possessions off their defense like Pittsburgh does, and he knew coming into this game, I talked to him, he said, Glenn, we're going to have to do a job on the defensive end. We're going to have to match Pittsburgh's intensity. So far, they haven't done it.
Zavaskas, who is a good free throw shooter, just under 80%. Will go to the line, hits the first, and when he's done, we'll go back to the other end, and it'll be Rutgers basketball. And the Panthers getting a lot of free throw opportunities early in this ball game tonight. And if you followed Pittsburgh at all this year, and you think at some point that the inability to make them is going to hurt them.
Well, I think so. I think you're right, John. I think come tournament time, Big East tournament, NCAAs, you got to make your free throws. Brandon Knight's going to have to do a better job of shooting over 45%.
Well, I guess John Clockerty overruled the call as well. and said that the ball was last touched by Dabney. So that is that. Otherwise, Pittsburgh wouldn't have the ball.
So there it is again. Pittsburgh gets the ball. They get 2 baskets off the free throws.
Almost got a three-pointer. Look at the chase by Johnson. Keeps it alive to Zavaskas. That's the thing this team does. You see a loose ball, you'll see a white jersey around it. That's true of Rutgers too. Both very scrappy teams. A hold is called inside, and that one's going to go on Ricky Shields.
Ricky Shields trying to establish himself and move Johnson, who was trying to post him up on the block. So you got to, when you play low post defense like that, you got to play with your feet. You can't play with your hands. You got to take short, choppy steps around the offensive player, but it's got to be done with foot speed, not with your arms.
Page will go to the, excuse me, this is Johnson going to the line. Doesn't look like a 58% free throw shooter there, does it?
Gary Waters has really instilled a brand new level of excitement at the rack. Boy, they are tough to play in Piscataway.
Well, just ask UConn, Syracuse, Notre Dame, and Miami. They've all gone there and come away empty.
And now they just got to learn how to win on the road.
They've matched their biggest lead.
Zani threw an elbow, try to get Savakis off him.
Yeah, and about 7,000 people saw it. Inside. Foul called, and Fulman does not get his first field goal, but he'll get a chance to put 2 in the basket at the line. The foul goes on. Julius Page picks up his first.
There's that hand. See, it's really the forefinger. You see that forefinger? That's the shooting finger. You can't hurt that finger. That is a tough finger to be taped in order to be a good shooter.
But, you know, even after the injury in the Syracuse game, he came back the next game against West Virginia and scored 29 points.
Lit it up, so. But that finger, John, that's the directional finger on a jump shot, is that forefinger. If that finger is not facing the rim, you're usually going to miss.
Coleman gets his first point of the night. We'll take a break with 7:39 to play in the first half. Pittsburgh's lead is 8. It's 21-13. Back with more at Fitzgerald after this. 39 to go in the half. As we come back, let's check out our Hyundai game summary for you.
Well, neither team is lighting it up from the floor. But again, Pittsburgh, a stat that's very deceiving, is doing a great job on the defensive end. They're starting to pull away on the rebounding end. Savakis is having a nice job on the low blocks. But Pittsburgh's strength, John, is that they take away what you do best. And right now they've taken away Kent from the inside game, and they've taken away Coleman from the outside game as well. Page is doing a great job shutting them down.
Kent has not scored, and he's not in the game. We're seeing number 55, the junior from Philly, Kareem Wright, in there right now. Eugene Dabney was in for a while, got a technical foul. We're going to see some full court pressure again by the Scarlet Knights, trying to turn it up. And I tell you, they get you at the rack, put on the full court pressure. That is like being on the rack.
Well, I think they need to employ some type of up-tempo style of play with full court pressure. They want to go up and down. Rutgers is the type of team that is explosive in the transition game, but they're not doing enough on their defense. So what do? They try to pick up half court.
Gerard, good pressure on Knight this time. Backdoor. Page could not get a grip on it. Has to come back out. Finds Zavaskas, and he travels. Got in just a bit of a hurry that time.
See, when Savakis took off on that move, John, he stood up. Anytime you come to a jump stop and you want to get into your dribble, you got to stay low. You're quicker and you're stronger.
I think we probably knew coming in this would be a fairly low-scoring game. They were in the 60s and 50s the last time. Shields gets inside. The scoop shot hits the side of the backboard. Here comes Knight. Page flying in. Follow Morris. Torrey Morris, second time tonight he's done that, and the Panthers have their biggest lead of the half.
Morris did a great job playing help defense, and he was rewarded with the dunk on the offensive end.
And good hustle there by Chad Johnson to get the block from behind. The Panthers showing us some of that vaunted defense, one of the best in the country, the opposition averaging less than 60 points a game against them.
Well, Page bangs it off the glass, and look at Morris over the top again. The Rutgers guys, that's right. They have to get back. They got to run the floor. All 5 guys on Pittsburgh could run the floor nicely.
The foul is called inside on Torrey Morris. He'll pick up number 2. That's going to bring Ontario Lett back onto the court for Ben Howland.
Pittsburgh really banging the boards offensively, and it's not just Morris. Page is doing a nice job. Zavakis is doing a good job on the boards. Well, you really can see how Rutgers needs Kent in the game.
Stolen by Knight. And somehow he kept it alive. Goes over the top to Page, makes the catch, goes back up, and is hammered. Foul will go on Exani.
Boyd Knight once again starts plays with his defense. See, I thought he should have thrown a bounce pass here. Great job getting in the passing lane. I thought he should have thrown a bounce pass right there. I think it would have been an easier pass to make. Page gets fouled. Great job. Right in the passing lane. It's great anticipation. Little bounce pass here. Nope. Alley-oop. Didn't get it.
Well, the struggles at the line continue. 8 for 15 now for Pittsburgh. They've been to the line 15 times. The Knights have been to the line 3 times. 8 different players have picked up fouls in this first half for Rutgers. And percentage-wise, Page has been the best free throw shooter on the entire Pittsburgh team. 24-13. Panthers are up 11 with 6:15 to go. Sherrod flying down the lane, bumped from behind, or bumped as he was going in. And that's number 2 on Brandon Knight.
Pittsburgh is taking away the pass off penetration, and that is why Rutgers has struggled this game, John. You get guys like Sherrod that can get in the lane, but what Pittsburgh is doing is they're taking away that penetration pass. They're getting deflections. They're playing great help side defense. That has been a staple for Ben Howland's defense.
7 different Panthers have scored so far. The front end of the 1-and-1, no good, and Lett has the rebound. And we told you, both these teams struggle at the line. Page passes on the 3, penetrates, and it's blocked by Wright. Coleman at the other end. 3-pointer on the way. Too strong. Zavakis the rebound on the weak side. At the other end, though, Page is down. And Tony Salisi, the trainer, will hustle out along with Ben Howland. He was hammered pretty good going inside, but the block was called.
Page was going in for the dunk on that play. He took off real deep. Looked like he got bumped in the body. Might have gotten the wind knocked out of him. Nice little pump fake. Page gets Lamazana up in the air. Watch how high he gets up.
Wow, you're right.
And you talk about Wright, who goes in at about 275 going up against Page.
Page at 190, and he got a lot of body in that midsection. You might be right. Might have knocked the wind out of it.
Might have got the wind knocked out of him with an elbow.
And that's no fun, is it?
No. Got a shot right in the ribs.
That's why you don't want to go in there against those big guys.
I never did.
Well, you were smart. I mean, because
I never could jump like that either.
Only bad things can happen when you take your little frame inside if you don't get the free look. And I think you're right. I think he's had the wind knocked out of him. So it'll give him some time to catch his breath. 5:54 to play in the half. I invite you to stick around at halftime. And there is the wide body.
You don't want him. You don't want Wright or Kent taking you out in the transition game.
Well, Kareem listed at 285, and he is every bit of that. Kent is set to check back in, by the way, after sitting with the 2 fouls.
And that's a nice little gesture. Kareem Wright just came over and shook Page's hand. Here he comes to try to help out a little bit. Goes in strong and hard. Hard foul. I don't think it was malicious.
44, Rashad Kent. In for the Panthers, number 4, Jerron Brown.
So Jerron Brown comes in as Julius Page will sit. We mentioned Kent checking back in and Wright. So the 2 guys involved in the collision go to the bench. Panthers have an 11-point lead and the basketball. Zavakis being very steady for Pittsburgh. Johnson outside. Got to move against McCoy. Feeds Knight. Sets for 3 on the way. Short. Kicks into the hands of McCoy. This is Mike Sherrod with it.
See, right now, Rutgers is playing into the tempo of Pittsburgh. It's slow and methodical.
The reverse, well done by Kent. That is his first basket of the night.
And that's one of the
5 minutes left.
And that's one of the areas, John, that he's improved on this year is his ability to play around the basket and finish. But you're right, they shut him down too. So think about it. Coleman, Shields, and Kent have been shut down. The 3 leading scorers.
Between them, 3 points. And that's the first field goal for the trio. So, off the body of Johnson. Sherrod went for the steal, didn't get there. Johnson to the baseline, bending out. McCoy kicks it ahead. Racing down is Coleman. And that is going to send Mike Sherrod to the free throw line as Zavaskas will pick up his first foul.
And that might have been the first sign of the Rutgers teams that's effective, is getting it out quick off the glass, pushing it to Coleman or Sherrod, getting up and getting a little finish inside. It's a nice job by Rutgers getting it off the glass and flying.
Sherrod missed his first chance, makes that one. And let's watch the beautiful move and the great up and under play by Kent.
So he gets him on his back, and then he uses the rim as a shield and avoids Johnson and does a nice job. That's all upper body strength making a play like that.
1 out of 2. Lett tracks down the rebound. McCoy had a hand on it, but it got away. Splitting the defense is Knight. Now they've got numbers, 3 on 2. Streaking in is Jerron Brown. Brown had a big game first time these two teams played. He had a 14-point game to lead the scorers on his team. Knight chipped in with 13, and Lett had 11. But Rashad Kent starting to take charge a little bit at the offensive end.
And that's smart by Rutgers. Option A should be to go inside first to Kent. That's not open, then you can rely on the jump shooting of Coleman and Sherrod.
Sherrod will pick up his second. And I'm going to warn these players, if they keep barking at the officials, there are going to be some more technicals called. Because they'll take it for a while. They won't take it the whole night.
One of the things that Brandon Knight does so well is that he kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit. Then all of a sudden he kicks it into another gear and you think you got him, but you don't. He's by you. And that's what impresses me the most about Brandon Knight, is that he makes intelligent basketball decisions and he's under control. A lot of guards in the country that are explosive. That's a second air ball, by the way, John.
Second in a row. Yeah, he's 1 of 5.
He's got to bend his knees a little more.
I think that finger's bothering him more than he lets on.
It is.
And all the pep talks in the world aren't going to help him.
And this is a nice gesture. Everybody clapping in the stands here to try to get.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he did this at the rack, what it would be like? Wow. Well, he's 2 of 6 and has 2 points in the game. But the Panthers have led most of the first half. Just under 4 minutes to play. Coleman has been quiet. Probably because of Page. Good move there. Gets down the lane, but missed the shot. McCoy gets it back to Sherrod. Lamazana from outside. The 3 is good. That is the first 3-point basket of the night for the Scarlet Knights. And it cuts the Pittsburgh lead down to 6. Brown with it. Knight gets it. Leans in, puts it up, and buries it. First field goal tonight for Knight.
And you know, he's holding that hand. After he put that ball up, he was holding his hand. It's hurting him, John. There it is again. He's holding it again.
Now, both teams are 1 for 7 in shooting 3-pointers, so that does not look like it's going to be a factor tonight. And if that's on Kent, that is a huge foul. The hand is hurting, but the Panthers are winning. 3:08 to go in the half. Just before we went to the break, it was the 3rd foul of the first half on Rashad Kent. And while we went to that break, 2 free throws at the line for Zavaskas, stretching it back to a 10-point lead. You can see the reaction on the face of Kent as he will have to sit the final 3:08. Looking for the latest information on the 2002 ConAgra Foods Big East Basketball Championship? Well, one place to get it is the Big East website. You can get your information there. And of course, you remember last year when Boston College came from last to first and won that Big East championship against the Pittsburgh Panthers. And for ticket information, here are the numbers to call. It all starts next Wednesday, March 6th, 212-465-MSG1. Or you can buy those tickets at the Madison Square Garden box office or through Ticketmaster.
Now, John, if Rashad Kent is going to be the big dog for Rutgers, he's going to have to stay away from those puppy fouls inside, the little ones that really hurt him. And he's been plagued with that throughout his career. And his importance to the Rutgers team is in many ways on offense and on defense especially. They need his presence in there. He's the only true low post scorer on Rutgers' team. They become an easy team to defend because all of a sudden with him out of the game, they're all perimeters, so you know how to play him.
And as the Panthers come back on the court, one of them is not Brandon Knight. He's on the bench. And that finger obviously bothering him. Also on the bench is the other key ingredient for the teams in this game, and that, of course, is Rashad Kent. So Wright checks back in to replace him. On right now with McCoy, Coleman, Sherrod, Lamazana. Those are the five. It's Brown, Zavaskis, Page, Lett, and Johnson. The five for Pittsburgh with 3 minutes to go in the half. Panthers lead by 10. Sherrod dribbles through the lane. It was so stacked up there, Glenn, he had no place to go with it.
Well, every time there's a penetration, you see 4 white shirts in the paint helping out.
Finally shoots a three from deep in the corner. Lett reels in the rebound.
Great job by Lett, getting right on his back. Terrific job. He boxed first, then went for the ball.
Here's Page. Back after having the wind knocked out of him. Zavaskis for three, rims out. Brown, the rebound, up, puts it in. Somehow, some way, Jerron Brown finds a way. Panthers have their biggest lead of the half now, up by 12. It's 33-21. Just over 2 minutes left. Lamazana turns, shoots, and rims it home.
Basket number 1,
Hervé with his second field goal has 5 points in the game. He has the only three-pointer of the night for the Scarlet Knights. The Pittsburgh three-pointer belongs to Siobhan Troutman, not a logical source for a three.
That was nice spacing that time by Rutgers as they fall back into a 2-3 zone, first zone of the evening.
Taking some time off the clock.
Yep, and with Knight out of the game, it's not a bad ploy.
Zavaskis, no place to go. So they reverse the basketball. It's Brown at the point right now. Johnson for three. Kicks hard to Coleman. He'll start back. Sherrod's ahead of him with Lamazana on the right wing. And they back it out. Now, three-pointer by Coleman. Too strong. Zavaskis was in a good spot against Wright to peel in that rebound.
Boy, Coleman is not bashful.
Look at Lett ahead of the pack. Ontario Lett.
Transition defense non-existent, and Gary Waters knows it as well. Coleman just didn't have his head up in the transition game. The guard's got to get back. You can't just rely on Kareem Wright, who's 6'8", 280 pounds to get back. The guards off the penetration didn't get back, and that was Coleman's responsibility.
So with exactly 1 minute remaining, the Panthers' lead is as big as it has been in the first half. They are up by 12. It has been a rough and tumble, physical game as we expected.
It really has been, and you know, you got guys like Morris and Lett and Brown that run the floor and they bang you inside. They're all very versatile players. You know, when you look at them on paper, they're not physically imposing, but as a group, they certainly are, because the chemistry is not just there offensively. The most important thing about Pittsburgh is that they have great chemistry on defense.
Lamazana against Zavaskis. Now the freshman Shields with it. Three-pointer, long three-pointer. How about the rebound that time by Johnson in between the two red jerseys?
So I think Rutgers has to toss it around a little bit more, give 3 or 4 guys some touches. Forces Pittsburgh to play honest defense. Right now, it's just a one-on-one match.
There's a 2-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. And the Panthers will be happy to use up most of that time. Game clock at 15. Brown gets into the lane, gets in trouble. Zavaskis steps around the three. Johnson shoots the three. At the buzzer, Zavaskis will not get the shot away. So the Panthers will have the lead going to the locker room. 35-23. The Big East Wire is coming up as we bring you our halftime report from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse after this.
Best.
That's exactly right, because let's show you the way it stacks up right now. in the West Division of the Big East. Pittsburgh on top, and Rutgers is right there with the rest of the pack.
And you're right, John. You know, they're doing it with defense. Both of these teams, you know, when you think about defense in the Big East, you think Georgetown, you think Syracuse, ND. What Rutgers and Pittsburgh might be the two top defensive teams in the Big East Conference.
What about the East standings? New players, 8 of them scored. Scarlet Knights used 10 players, but only 6 of them scored. Welcome back to Fitzgerald. I'm John Sanders, along with Glenn Consor. Glenn, you look at the stats for the first 20 minutes, and neither team did a lot to be excited about.
No, really not, but you got to credit Pittsburgh with their defense. They have taken Rutgers from getting into their transition game, #1, and they have shut down their 3 big scorers. They've done a great job of playing great half-court defense, and they've given Rutgers nothing to do with their possessions. Field goal percentage for both teams are really down, but they've done a great job on the boards. Rutgers normally can get it off the glass and get some easy transition baskets. Pittsburgh has shut down that part of their game.
And we saw Brandon Knight playing with a bit of a problem with that finger, but he was still good enough to set up his buddy.
Well, that's what he does best, is he makes other players around him better by getting in the lane and knowing when and how and where to dish. That time, Morris did a good job of running the break as a secondary option for the follow-through. We had to search long and hard for some highlights from Rutgers in the first half, but we found one in Kent, a little bit of a bright spot. Lamazana did a good job coming off the bench. He's an excellent scorer. They isolated him fairly well in the first half. He needs to get the ball. This guy had the ball, but then he dropped it because he gave it to Cordell Stewart.
Well, that happened at the end of their season, and a winning team brings out other winners. Bill Cowher, one of those in attendance here. We have the second half to go. 12-point lead for Pittsburgh. Can the Panthers roll to another win? We'll find out when we come back. Well, individually as collectively, not a lot to talk about in the scoring category. Individual leaders. Kent in that first half had just 4. Ran into foul trouble, had 3 fouls.
And more importantly, John, Kent only has 1 rebound.
That's hard to believe.
In the first half. This is a guy that yanked down 16 against Miami. 9 of them were offensive boards, and Miami rebounds.
And averages a double-double.
And this is an intensity issue right now. Rutgers really is a terrific team when they can turn it up a notch, create some possessions off their defense. Not an easy thing to do when Brandon Knight is running the show.
Well, you see the leading scorers individually for each team. The Panthers, 12 points up at halftime. That matched their biggest lead of the first half. Here's Knight. Shoots a 3. Hits it. So Brandon Knight hits the 3, and the Panthers immediately jump up by 15.
Interesting how he can make 3s, but he can't make that little 10-footer with no one on him.
The foul will go on Torrey Morris. He'll pick up his 3rd, and you can count the basket for Agzani, who started the game and is starting the second half.
See, that time Rutgers had great spacing on offense. And again, you know Rutgers can get in the lane. The key is keeping the spacing spread, which keeps the weak side defense away. Agzani did a good job of stepping in and moving without the ball. You got guys like Coleman and Sherrod and Shields. All 3 could take you off the bounce.
Stolen by Kent. Spins. Lost it. Agzani now. No place to go. So he backs it out to Sherrod. Shields for 3. Too strong. And the Panthers will pick it up in the corners. Zavaskas. And you see this full court pressure all the way, it looks like, huh, Glenn?
Little 2-2-1.
And there's a steal from behind by Shields. On the drive and scoring the basket, Sherrod. He's got 7.
So this is Rutgers' game. They waited to the second half to get it on. A little diamond press. Little 1-2-1-1. You got Sherrod as the middle guy, and that's deflections. There it is again.
And here's Coleman.
I get a timeout.
They will. The Panthers will call the timeout. Their lead is down to 8. The Scarlet Knights have bounced out early here in the second half. Still 18:38 to go. Scored 7 points in 46 seconds, so they have put it up in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't think the halftime conversation in the Rutgers locker room was about the fact that it's 40 degrees and raining here in Pittsburgh. I think he talked about defensive intensity, get the ball up and down, make it a little helter-skelter. 2 deflections. Shields came from behind on the first one. That led to some easy baskets. That's Rutgers' game. They have to utilize their strength. Their strength is quickness in the backcourt and their ability to get deflections.
And Knight does it himself this time. They were trying to beat that pressure with long passes, and that's not going to work out.
Boy, it looks like 2 different teams on the floor. Rutgers came out in the second half.
There have been times this year that the Panthers have not been able to hang on to big leads. Shot clock at 10, but that's normal for Pittsburgh. Knight, three-pointer on the way. Comes up short. There's Kent. Had just 1 rebound in that first half.
I got a sneaky suspicion that number's going to increase as time goes on here in the second half.
Shields, what a move against Page, and somehow got the roll.
Looked like MJ on that play.
That is the first field goal for him tonight. And it's a 9-0 run for the Knights.
There's that 2-2-1. Gerard just got there a little too late, boy. They're really picking up the tempo.
Brown. Inside, no place to go. Gets it to left. And he's in there too long. You don't see that 3-second call very often, but it causes the Panthers to turn it over right there, 38-32.
The key to Rutgers' game is their ability to pressure the ball, and that's what they're doing right now. And they're also recovering and doing a great job rotating, which has led to that 9-0 run.
Coleman in the lane, the jumper good. Here they come. It's an 11-0 run. The Scarlet Knights are right back in it. It's a 4-point game. The foul will go on Sherrod. He'll have 3.
Number 3, Mike Sherrod. That's his 3rd, team first.
This is what teams have been running into, ranked teams, especially at the rack, against the Scarlet Knights. And now they're trying to use this pressure smothering defense to come back in this game.
And they can rattle off a bunch of points in a hurry.
Backdoor Page.
Great spacing on that play by Pittsburgh. That's one of the ways to break that type of on-ball pressure, John. Spread the floor and go back door.
Shields inside. Brown got ball, but I think also got body. And he will pick up his first foul.
Pittsburgh foul going against number 4, Jerron Brown.
Jerron Brown is the X factor every time he steps on the floor because he gives you a little bit of everything. How about this? He's leading the team in rebounding. He's only 6'4". You know one of the things Gary Waters talked about at halftime was not just to come down and get back in this game by shooting 3-point shots. Rutgers has not done that. They're getting back in this game with their defense, and they're getting back on this game by penetrating.
Both these teams not overall real good 3-point shooting teams. Both at 33.5%, so that's not among the leaders. Here's left. Bounces to Zabas. That's the way to hammer the pressure.
Yeah, you don't want to go east to west. You want to go south to north, and you want to make Rutgers pay for that type of pressure and attack it. Get over half court, try to score.
Zabaskas will pick up his second.
Pittsburgh foul going against number 5, Demonis Zabaskas. His second, team.
Rutgers knows, John, in order to apply that type of full court pressure on Brandon Knight, they've got to get up on him early and try to bother him so he can't see the open players.
And I believe that one's going to go on Julius Page. Number 2, and the foul's beginning to mount early for Pittsburgh.
Julius Page.
Ben Howland a little concerned now how the tempo arrow has changed a little bit in the favor of Rutgers playing into their game.
And they've done it with their defense so far in the second half. Coleman draws a crowd. Shields. That's a 2. He's inside the arc.
Rutgers basket number 2.
So he's starting to warm up. That's 6 points now for Ricky Shields.
It's Ricky Shields out of Hargrave, one of the top prep schools in the nation.
Ball pass by Lett. Coleman races in, spins it up, no good. And Brown comes up with the loose ball. Finds Page, then Knight. 3-on-3. Zabaskas all alone on the baseline again. A dozen for Demonis Zabaskas.
See, Page did a nice job of getting the ball in Knight's hand in the middle of the floor. Once the ball's in the middle of the floor on a 3-on-2 fast break, the defense has to play honest.
Kent with a dump down.
Kent's got to shoot that, John. John, when Kent has the ball inside 5 feet, he could use his body, turn. He had a good look at the basket. He's got to shoot that ball.
It is called on Ontario Lett. It's his second. Siobhan Troutman will come back on when we come back. The Panthers leading 44-38, 15-15 to go. After scoring 23 points in the first half, already 15 points in less than 5 minutes in the second half. And let's take a look at Shooting the Rock, brought to you by Rolling Rock. Grab a rock.
Well, the good ball movement is creating openings now for Rutgers. And they're starting to be effective with the ball, not just with the good ball movement outside the perimeter. Also, they're taking them off the bounce, but the defense is what got them back in this game. Boy, it certainly looks like, John, at halftime, they might have got that little shot of vitamin B coming out playing with a lot more energy.
And I guess the question would be, Glenn, can they maintain it the entire second half?
And that's the key. When you play against a team like Pittsburgh that you know is going to grind you down and maintain their intensity for 40 minutes, you have to match it.
Knights will have it under their own basket. Kent inside, missed the shot, tips it out of bounds, and it belongs to Pittsburgh. Boy, you won't get a better look than that for him.
I thought that ball might have slipped out of his hands as he went up.
You might be right.
Bit of token pressure this time.
Not as intense as it was in the first 4 minutes. So Knight outside, picked up by Shields, finds Zavaskis. Look to Troutman, lays it in. Panthers back to an 8-point lead. They were up a dozen at halftime. Shields racing to the baseline. So he shoots and scores. Made that look easy.
When in doubt, pull the trigger. Baseline cut him off, and he just turned and scored. Well, Shields is really playing with a whole lot more energy. Went 0 for 4 in the first half.
Knight made a good catch. Pass was behind him, but he was able to hang on.
See, in order for Rutgers to be effective defensively, they can't let Knight get that catch in the middle of the floor.
Knight goes in for his jumper and buries it.
See, if he catches it, he's going to penetrate and score. Shields just trailed the play, almost got there. But this is not horseshoes, especially on defense against Pittsburgh.
And almost is not going to work. Beautiful move inside that time by Rashad Kent, who wanted that one. He draws the foul.
Pittsburgh foul called against number 2, Siobhan Troutman.
You know, you and I have talked about some of the most improved players in this conference. Clearly, Kent is on offense. His foot speed and his ability to get to the rim from around that 7-8 foot area on the floor has improved dramatically. He couldn't do this last year. Take that long little drop step, use his body. He used his body well last year, but he didn't have the foot speed. Increasing foot speed is not an easy thing to improve on.
And not when you're 6'6", 270 pounds. And that's one thing he has not improved on is free throw shooting. If this comes down to a free throw contest, we'll have a tie. Neither one, much luck at the line. Johnson back in the lineup. He had Troutman, didn't see him. This is a 3 by Knight. Doesn't get the roll, but he'll get to shoot.
See, Knight's so smart. Players that know how to use screens, John, are not impatient. They play with great patience. See, Shields is trailing this play. Look how he's trailing the play. You got to get outside. One of the things I think Rutgers is going to have to do is either have to do a better job hedging on those screens. That means the guy that's defending the screen is going to have to jump out. See, that was Exani on that play, but he didn't jump out to help out.
Two of 8 at the line, and 3 of them have been real ugly.
Well, he was short, air ball short on 2, and that time he tried to overcompensate. Kicked it off the back rim, off the glass.
Wigan and Lamazana check in.
You watch him shoot, John. He really doesn't have much rhythm. So much of free throw shooting is rhythm. A little better that time.
And maybe still missed. So that's only 2 of 9 at the line. That will not get it done. Shields has that one blocked. Troutman with it.
Boy, Knight did a great job helping out.
Knight all the way down the lane and lays it in. Nobody picked him up. 11 for Brandon Knight.
The great thing about Knight's game, I'm falling in love with him, is that he doesn't make anything fancy. Everything is basic and fundamental. He's been well schooled. He's got that high pedigree. I mean, his brother and his dad.
Hits the deck as he went off the body of Lamazana that time. Kent draws the double team, hands it to Wigan. Shot clock at 13. Kent leans in with that left hand. Tip try no good, and Johnson has the rebound. Here comes Pittsburgh, 3-on-2. Behind the back. Offensive foul, no basket.
Knight must have heard me, John. I just talked about how he keeps things simple, and then he threw it around the back pass, but it was a fundamentally sound pass.
Brandon Knight, his third, team 7.
Well, the Panthers this half have turned it over 6 times, and the Knights have not turned it over at all.
See, Knight left his feet after he threw the pass. He leaves his feet, and then Joel Wigan takes the charge.
So it was not a player control foul. Instead, it puts them in the bonus already here in the second half. And that could be a factor if, and it's a big if, the Knights can make their foul shots. He made his. 8 points for Joel Wigan. Brandon Knight to Page, gets it back. Now Johnson in trouble. There's Knight all alone is Chapman.
See how Knight flashed to the middle of the floor? It was great timing. They missed Page originally, and Knight knew where to go. Stepped right into the seam, flashed beautifully. He's the pressure relief guy against that full court press.
Lamazana. Spins, shoots, blocked. Kent with a rebound. Tipped away by Knight. Racing against Wigan. They're going to count that basket. And it was the trail official who made the call.
You know, at Boston University, John, when I played for Coach Pitino, he used to tally up in practice deflections. Once again, Knight gets the deflection stepping in. He's done it about 5 times this game so far. Nice job getting it up. Looked like the ball was coming down. I think it was a good call. There it is again, going up. Ball hits. Looked like that was tough. Could have went either way.
Panthers back up by 10. Knocked away by Brown. It's Rutgers basketball with 11:46 to play in the game. And the Panthers are back on top by 10. We'll be back right after this. Point the Panthers have weathered the first Rutgers run in the second half. Let's take a look as we come back. Speaking of running, the BMW ultimate drive of the game.
Well, Knight's ability to get in the lane, that's against the full court pressure. Again, he knows how to play slow, he knows how to play fast, but more importantly, he knows how to play defense. Knight's one of these guys that really understands how to get in the lane and penetrate. Again, that's not explosive, that's just smart basketball by Knight.
Well, the Knights are trying to decide who's going to take it out. How about that? You don't see that very often, do you? I got it, you take it. And Brown goes for the steal, almost got it. Sherrod controls. Gets in the lane, puts it up, and nails it.
Well, that's a tough shot, sure is. It wasn't even square to the basket. And Mike Sherrod really has that quick first step, and now John Cahill wants to talk it over between Zavatkis and Rashad Kent. Both of them walking away shaking their heads.
Yeah, what's he talking about? Rough? Physical? Nah.
We're just banging some bodies.
There you go. Troutman still in backcourt.
I bang you, you bang me.
That's right. I get you at this end, you get me at that end.
There you go. Do-si-do.
That's right. Here's Page. And Page has been quiet. Only 3 points in the game, averaging over 11. Johnson spinning, shooting. No good. Troutman scrambling with Kent for the rebound, and he muscles it away. Sherrod back the other way. Now it's Coleman, who's been fairly quiet as well. Kent. Wiggins. Spins and shoots in the lane. Jerron Brown starts back. Zavaskis. Thought he might walk into that three-pointer, and he didn't. But that's the way Pittsburgh plays. They don't shoot too quick most of the time. As Brown got a seam, lays it in.
And Hervé on that play had a good idea of stepping in, taking the charge. He just got there too late. But again, Rutgers just kind of lulls you to sleep for about 15 seconds, then someone explodes to the basket.
Brown got a piece of that and the arm. That'll be number 2 on Jerron Brown. And remember, already in the bonus for Rutgers, and only 2 team fouls on the Scarlet Knights in the second half.
Team A. Into the lineup for Rutgers, number 2, Ricky Shields. In for the Panthers, number 20, Brandon Knight. For the line for Rutgers, number 3, Mike Sherrod.
Sherrod so far tonight is just 1 out of 3 at the line.
So this is important, because if Pittsburgh keeps putting Rutgers on the line early, John, what this does is 2 things. Gives them the chance to make some free throws, and again, they're not a great free throw shooting team, but more importantly, Gary Waters knows that it allows them to set up their defense. They've gotten back in this game with that full court press. So now it allows them to set the press up after the free throw. It's easy to do.
But 1 out of 2, Lamazana, the offensive rebound after the miss. A fresh clock and the ball for the Scarlet Knights.
Ben Howland not happy with that play as the second position guy on offense gets the rebound.
Lamazana working against Troutman. Jump hook. An air ball tracked down by Troutman. And saw where Rashad Kent was. You want to get the 4th foul there. Zavaskis at the other end got the roll. 14 points for Donatas Zavaskis.
Brandon Knight is just picking apart this Rutgers full court pressure. Great vertical passer.
How about that 3-point attempt? Page scrambles, gets the rebound. Zavaskis finds Knight. Started to go behind his back again, and he carried it.
Ben Howland on the sideline saying to Knight, go to a jump stop, keep it simple. Little fake around the back pass, and he wanted him to come to a jump stop. Another turnover by Pittsburgh.
Now that has bothered them so far in the second half. Kent leans in, and it was blocked. Zavaskis got part of that. Knight being hounded by Sherrod. 11-point Panther lead. Knight in, blocked by Kent. Out of bounds.
That's the type of defense that Gary Waters has been teaching. Again, it's the help and recover. Knight turned the corner, and Kent got there quick for the block. Just stepped out of bounds. What a great job he's done.
And I think we're going to have to wind the shot clock down because the ball did not touch the rim. Ben Howland wants to call a timeout. And he will.
Shot clock ticked down, John, you're right.
It is
down to 21 seconds.
And they had put a new 35 back on the clock. Okay, if you're Pittsburgh, so far so good because you've weathered that first run. Update from the other Big East game being played tonight. And they're all big in the Big East right now. Syracuse winning right now at Seton Hall, but you don't take anything for granted any game in this conference.
Well, every night is battles in the Big East, and we got a good one with the big fellas inside. Zavaskis and Kent really banging bodies. Kent's not an easy guy to move, but Zavaskis is no lightweight either. Look how he's trying to use his feet. See how he's trying to use his feet? Gets a little hand, gets a little deflection in there, but he's doing a good job with his foot speed around Kent. Kent's not an easy body to go around. It's kind of like walking around a block. You can't go through it.
That's
right. You can't go through the building. You got to go around it.
Inbounds play. Comes out to Chad Johnson. As I mentioned, Chad, the only senior on this team.
That's the other thing about these teams, John. You know, we talk about the improvement, but they're very young teams.
Vasquez for three. Yes, sir. 17 for Donatas Zavasquez. Agzani will check back in for the Knights. Wigan pounded by Page. Shields down the lane, knocked away and out of bounds by Troutman again from behind. We've seen that a lot tonight.
Pittsburgh is tough to play against because you think that you're open and you're not, because the weak side defense always comes in. Where Brandon Knight's having a great floor game again. I had a chance to talk to Ben Howland about Knight's ability, and Howland had a chance as an assistant coach to coach John Stockton. He also had the chance to coach at UC Santa Barbara, Brian Shaw. He said that Brandon Knight is more advanced than Stockton and Shaw were at this stage in their college careers.
Really?
That's not shabby.
No.
Those are two big-time NBA point guards.
Now watch this one all the way. There's the foul that's called on Johnson as he pulls him down.
These guys are rolling around a little bit.
To the line for Rutgers, number 3, Mike Sherrod, shooting 2.
Sherrod not happy.
He'll have 2 chances at the line, where he is 2 for 5 so far tonight.
One thing, this game has been physical, and these guys are banging bodies, diving on loose balls. So you get those types of plays where you're wrestling a little bit. Part of the game.
Well, one thing you don't want to do is watch these two teams shoot free throws, because that's not a clinic.
We have no choice, though.
That's true. The Panthers in their 6th consecutive sellout, the most since that 87-88 season when they had 9 in a row, and he gets the second one to go.
Well, if Rutgers is going to get back into this game, given the fact that Pittsburgh is over the limit, they're going to need to make free throws.
Well, you know the game a week from Saturday is going to be sold out because it's the last game ever at Fitzgerald, and it's West Virginia. That'll be the last game that Gail Catlett will be officially the head coach of the Mountaineers.
They are jacked up here in Pittsburgh about the Peterson Recreation Center, Peterson Event Center, the future home of the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Well, it's well underway.
12-5. It's going to seat 12-5.
Well underway across the
Beautiful.
street.
Saw some of the sketches.
Kent. No, not that time. A little too acrobatic.
See, I think he's got to square his body more, take it with 2 hands, take it to the rim.
Knight left, can't hang on. The Panthers, though, have matched their biggest lead of the night. Jerome Coleman will check back in, but right now we'll check out as Pittsburgh leads at 63-48.
At Advance, we believe.
And as we come back, let's take a look at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Well, against the full court pressure that was effective the first 5 minutes into the first half, Brandon Knight was the key there. Troutman with the finish. He shoots 55% from the floor. Well executed play offensively. Now keep your eye on Kent here. He's about 6'6", 285. Look how he just turns his body and just kind of throws it up. He's got to take it with 2 hands, square himself to the basket, take it into the chin of Zavasquez, and get fouled.
Shields with it. The Knights just one of their last 10 as Sherrod has that one blocked by left. Charlotte Knight ball, 18 on the shot clock. Neither team shooting 40% in the first half, and both are well over that number in the second half.
Yeah, 81% is the result of breaking full court pressure, getting layups.
Coleman got inside and got in trouble. And it looks to me like the Panthers have recovered and are beginning to take control of this game, although, again, you cannot count the Knights out.
The Rutgers is so explosive. But it does look like they've lost some of the energy that they had in the first half.
That's going to go on Lett, and that'll be his third.
Coleman's been quiet. I think that's hurt them this game, John.
Sure has.
He really has been quiet. He's one of these guys that could come down on the break, stop, shoot the 27, 28-footer like it's a layup. So you got to go out and guard him. He's just been ineffective off the bounce or shooting from 3. Shields has taken upon himself in the second half to be more proactive.
Well, remember, he did not score in the first half, and he has 9 in the second half.
Into the lineup
He has
for
been a
Pittsburgh,
factor
number 4, Jerron Brown.
in the comeback. Remember, the Knights, using that pressure defense, did get to within 4 points. Page to the bench, Brown back on the court for Pittsburgh.
You know, Coleman's been hot too. He had 30 against Miami, coming off a big game. So they really rely on him to get this team going offensively. Credit Pittsburgh's defense. Page has done a good job locking them up.
Brown stumbling down the court. There's left. What a great catch and a great finish.
And a nice pass by Savakis.
And that pass was pretty high. He was able to track it down.
Pretty tough angle to throw the alley-oop from one corner to the other, so he threw it in front of the rim, and it was the right pass.
Lett leads the break. Brown is fouled. That'll go on Coleman. That'll be his first.
Into the lineup for Rutgers is number 15, Joel Wiggin. Rutgers foul.
Shields will go back to the bench.
His first team third.
And another foul. The second in a row called on Jerome Coleman. And I'm sure that Mr. Coleman is a little bit frustrated right now.
Oh, I think he is. That clearly was a frustration foul, reaching over the top.
Zavaskas is drilled by Agzani as he tried to cut across the lane. So that's 3 fouls with no time off the clock by the Scarlet Knights. Still just 5 team fouls in the second half.
See, this is where Pittsburgh's effective. Fresh 35 on the clock, and they'll use it now. They'll kick it down.
Knight spins, puts up a short one. Follow left. Well, those big guys come out of nowhere. And the Panthers now have their biggest lead of the game.
See, the problem is that Knight attracts so much attention. All the weak side defense comes to him. All eyes become on Knight. So he throws one up, and he got chances for offensive rebounds, and Lett just took advantage of it. Look at those points off the offensive boards by Pittsburgh, just dominating the glass. And that's been the difference this game, John.
There's a 3 for Coleman. It is his first tonight, and the Knights could use some of those. Zavaskas, Brown. Here's Julius Page back on the court. Looks for help, gets it from Brown. Shot clock at 15 as Brown makes a bad pass. Got to the baseline and was looking for Zavaskas, and he was not there. A little over 5 to go. Can the Knights come back? Panthers with 9 turnovers here in the second half. Wiggin. That's offensive goaltending. Credit the basket to Joel Wiggin in double figures with 10. So he's had quite a night. His career high this year for the freshman is 11. Or excuse me, yeah, for the freshman is 11.
Wiggin has to improve on being shot ready when he catches the ball on the perimeter. You know he can go by you. He just has to do a better job of looking for a shot first.
Zavaskas gets inside and pays the price. That is number 4 on Kent.
The thing that is somewhat deceptive about Pittsburgh is that they have 3 or 4 guys that can handle the ball out there. And that's a luxury to have when you play against pressure. Savakis took the ball from the deep wing, put it on the floor, and gets hammered, but Page could put it on the floor. Of course, Knight's the leader. Lett can and Brown can, and that's a nice thing to have when you play against pressure. You don't just rely on one guy to handle the ball outside, which makes them unflappable because they don't panic on defense.
Well, you saw early on in this half when the Knights came roaring back and got within 4. They did frustrate them with their defense, but we raised the question at the time, can they keep it up the entire game? And that's been part of the problem. They've kind of sagged back a little bit.
And the other thing is Pittsburgh made the adjustment of spreading the floor,
right.
Doing a better job of throwing efficient passes, getting the ball to the middle of the floor for Brandon Knight. See, Rutgers has to do a better job now of recognizing that they're down, getting their defense set, a little bit more movement with their offense.
deflected by Knight.
Again.
And Kent just taps it right to Knight. 3-on-1 Pittsburgh. Here comes Lett, gives it up to Page. That's team basketball. A lot of big guys would have taken that in there and tried to jam it. He gave it up to Page.
John, great analysis because Lett did a good job. There's the steal again. It was the deflection, then steal. Now keep your eye on Lett. Jump stop. Was under control. Didn't pick up the charge. It was a beautiful play by Lett. Once again, the steal. Watch Lett on this play. Under control. Stops and dishes. Draws and dishes.
Julius Page completes the three-point play. Page with 8. The Panthers leading 72-55.
You talked to Ben Howland about Ontario. Lett, who was a signed player in August, picked him up real late in the season. Ben Howland will tell you what a blessing in disguise it was. He really didn't have that much tape on him.
And Page off the feed from Lett. Biggest lead of the night. Timeout, Rutgers. There are 4 Panthers in double figures, and they are picking them apart right now.
Well, they really are. You know, this kind of reminds me of the Ali Foreman fight when he plays rope-a-dope. They just kind of lull you to sleep and let you swing and let you give it all. And then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh strikes, and that's what they do. They do a terrific job of, they're a very prepared team as well. Rutgers is too, and Rutgers is a very young team. You got to realize that. But right. Pittsburgh is so well prepared. They know where the strength of your team is, and they really attack it. They've taken Coleman out of the game. They've taken Kent out of this game. Rutgers is going to have to really do a good job of finishing strong against Seton Hall. I got them on Saturday,
yeah,
John.
That's at the rack. That'll be rocking.
And that's going to be rocking. And rightfully so. They are tough there, but they got to win on the road.
Not much left for Pittsburgh. They will go to Seton Hall. And then a week from Saturday, it's West Virginia, the final game ever in this storied Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. 51 seasons of basketball.
But you know what? The optimism at Rutgers playing at the rack is just phenomenal. You know, they go up 6 points there. It's like they're up 20. The place is rocking. It's got to be one of the loudest arenas in college basketball, and the fans are really behind the program. Gary Waters, even though they're down this game, John, he's doing a terrific job. What a turnaround.
Well, their only loss at home this year was to these Panthers.
That's the story right there, John.
Pittsburgh doing the job as they have all year long on the boards.
Interesting thing is they're not a big team. They just rebound as a team. It's not one guy yanking down 15.
Lett with it.
Kind of like Rutgers has.
That's right. They're kind of mirror images of each other. But maybe the one outstanding difference is the guy with the ball. That's a bad pass. One of the few mistakes he's made tonight. And he comes back with a steal. Ron Brown was going to go right back to him, so Page backs away.
Well, you really can sense the excitement when Page gets the ball. We really didn't have a chance to see his explosiveness this game. But he is a high riser, and he plays so well with Knight. They have great chemistry. Look at those screens out top by Lett. Kind of like bookend big bodies, Lett and Brown.
With 5 on the shot clock. A miss of a three-pointer. Wigan racing back the other way. I think that foul's going to go on Brandon Knight. It is. So he will pick up his 4th foul. But it may be immaterial now. Lamazana is set to check back in with McCoy and Wright for the Knights. Siobhan Troutman and Chad Johnson will return for Pittsburgh after this first free throw attempt.
You know, if you watch Pittsburgh play last year, they really improved. They really came on at the end of the season, especially in the Big East tournament. But when you watch Brandon Knight, John, this year, it really seems like he's meshed with Ben Howland. Almost like an extension on the floor. He knows exactly what he wants, when to do things, how to get open, how to get guys the ball.
And Wigan misses both. Troutman has the rebound. 74-55, 2.5 to go, and the Panthers are going to win their 23rd, and the Knights have some work to do. Just 2 regular season games remaining for Pittsburgh.
I like this Rutgers team, though. I think they're young, they're athletic. Obviously, Kent getting in foul trouble. We didn't get a chance to see the steady and toughness that Rashad Kent brings to the table.
And that will take us to a break with 2:12 to go. Pittsburgh's lead is 19. Ontario left. King to play to Page, and that's the way it's gone for Pittsburgh. And the Panther fans have really enjoyed things. Their football team made a great rush to the end, winning a bowl game. I don't know that they're ready for KU yet, but
this is your town.
The Panthers have been terrific this year. Brandon Knight from outside airballs it, and that's going to be a shot clock violation with 2:02 remaining.
In the lineup for Pittsburgh, number 55, Torrey Morris.
Torrey Morris checks back into the lineup, and Julius Page will get a nice round of applause. Up by 19, and guess who's still on the court with 2 minutes to play? Sore finger and all, it's Brandon Knight.
You know, John, I've had a chance to see a lot of great NBA guards, and Brandon Knight makes decisions on the court as a point guard equally as well as guys like Andre Miller, the Cavaliers, his brother. He just does a terrific job of knowing when to do things and making other players around him like the great point guards in the league, like Mark Jackson.
Well, both teams emptying their benches right now. Guys who don't get a lot of playing time are out there.
Just a great feel for the game.
Right inside. On the move that time it was Connor Fox, and he'll get 2.
Rutgers basket number 15, Connor Fox.
Also out there right now is Mitch Garrett. I talked to Mitch. He came out real early to shoot, and I said, why are you out here so early? He said, well, I probably won't get to play, so I like to come out and shoot.
Why not? He's got to stay fresh. You never know when he's going to come off the bench and be needed.
And also in there is Yuri Demetrius for Pittsburgh. This is Johnson with it. Panthers heading for the final minute and just getting the roll. First basket tonight for 6'10" Mark McCarroll.
Boy, this Pittsburgh team knocking off Ohio State, St. John's, BC, Rutgers twice now, Georgetown twice, Syracuse twice.
Well, they're only
the terrific season.
It is only the 4th time that one team has defeated Syracuse and Georgetown twice.
It's unbelievable
in a season.
It's a great year. You know, and Rutgers has had a great year too. They beat Syracuse, they beat Notre Dame, Miami, UConn. They've had some great Big East wins.
Well, Carlo D'Orazio, just added to the roster about a month ago, is playing in his very first game right now. Backdoor. McCarroll somehow tried to make the catch, but could not. 39 seconds to go.
There's D'Orazio getting some run.
And the Scarlet Knights as well. A lot of their players out there in the game that's over. Wright working inside and gets the basket. That's another thing about Pittsburgh. You look at the trio that they have. You take Morris, you take Troutman, you take Lett. That's a pretty good rotation for you to have. You've got 15 fouls there, and you've got some guys that can play.
And Ben Howland uses his bench so nicely. Obviously doing the best he can to keep Knight on the floor, but got some good minutes out of Troutman and Johnson. Lett.
Three-pointer. D'Orazio off the front iron.
Would have been nice to see D'Orazio make that.
Demetrius gets inside. And that will count, I think. Yes. Demetrius gets the final basket, and the Panthers get another win. The final is 78-59. Excuse me, it was Zavascas with a 19-point game. He was terrific. But once again, I think, Glenn, you have to look to the leadership, although not that much scoring tonight from Brandon Knight, but he was the man.
Yeah, it's leadership, it's maturity, it's his ability to make other players around him better and make those basketball decisions, make those basketball plays. He really did a great job breaking that press from Rutgers and stopping the run in the second half.
So they now have defeated the Scarlet Knights twice in a row. Zavascas was 6 of 9 from the field. He was 6 of 6 from the line. Julius Page and the Panthers add another chapter to this great basketball story. The record goes to 23-4, 11-3 in conference play with 2 games remaining. Oh, the Panthers are doing it all right now. Again, the final. Pittsburgh beats Rutgers 78-59. For Glenn Consor, I'm struggling with my voice, but I'm John Sanders.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks for watching Big East basketball. We'll see you in New York.